The old adage is absolutely true. It's not where you start, but where you finish. Except, however, in a harness race. While it's true enough that as many races are won in the home stretch as they are at the start, it's absolutely undeniable that horses who like to get away quickly seem to have an advantage. Horses who start quickly, according to harness racing lingo, are called levers. They absolutely jump off the pages of your past performance program. Their lines are absolutely covered with the number 1, meaning they were first at that point in the race. Horses that can leave tend to be favored by the betting public. After all, a horse who's in front will have the first opportunity to win. The horse who leaves, however, may have to pay a price later in the race. It has already expended extra energy to get out on top and may have little left when those who save something for the stretch drive start picking up speed as the field turns for home. What we're really pointing out here is that horses tend to do one thing best, either leave or come on in the stretch. You'll have to take this pattern into account when you handicap, and although no one style actually predominates, and some horses are actually able to race either way, identifying those who leave at the start is a first important handicapping step for the fan. A horse, driver, and sulky are not a particularly aerodynamic combination. Thus, when racing directly into the wind, they are somewhat hampered and must expend extra energy to maintain that position, extra energy they may need later in the race. One of the first things a driver must learn is how to give a horse a little advantage, making another horse do the extra work racing into the wind. Simply stated, when a horse is racing right behind another, it's said to have cover. It's a situation where the horse in front is having to do a bit more work and the horse behind the other is getting a break. Cover is so desirable, that's why you'll see horses racing single or double file. Drivers are willing to give up a little in terms of position to get that cover. Strategy on the track is important. When is it time to make the winning move? The single biggest decision any driver must make in the course of a race is when to move towards the lead. Many times the racing style of the horse dictates when a driver begins to urge a horse on. A driver will generally elect to make a move toward the lead when it appears other horses ahead are beginning to tire, when it appears they would be locked in along the inside and not be able to make a move later, or when a chief rival makes its move. As you might guess, drivers can simply guess wrong. Other horses may be stronger than at first thought, or other drivers and horses attempt the same move. That's what's called racing luck, and because so many things can happen during a race, not every move can be a winning move. When a horse races on the outside of the pack, at least with one horse between it and the inside rail or barrier, it is said to be parked out. The question here is one of geometry. A horse who is parked out for any or all of the mile is at a disadvantage because it simply has to travel farther to reach the finish line. Mathematicians have calculated that on a half-mile track, a horse may actually travel 63 feet farther in going wire to wire while parked out all the way. If the length of a horse is calculated at 8 feet, that's an 8-length penalty to pay. When checking out past performances, a parked out symbol or two may be a very positive indicator of fitness. This is true when a horse, having been parked out much of the time, still comes on to finish strong. This is almost always a sign that this horse is fit and ready to do well again this week. There is little more frustrating for driver, trainer, owner, or bettor than to see a horse go off stride and finish far back. What causes this to happen? It could be many things. A horse may have been bumped by another. It may have been distracted by a foreign object blowing across the track. It may be tired, or may simply have wanted to go too fast, broke into a gallop. When a horse breaks, it's not disqualified. It can come back to win. However, when it breaks right at the finish line, it's going to be disqualified. If there were other horses just behind it, it's called a lap-down break, and it's treated like interference.